Imagine if I told you that she still believes concerning you each and every day, but you will never watch your phone light up with her name. She's observing you once more, checking your tails upon reading your previous messages, keeping in mind how you made her feel. However, she remains concealed and silent. And if you're not sure why, you'll remain trapped in agony and bewilderment in a "you can't win the waiting game today." I'm going to provide you with a thorough knowing the reasons behind her disappearance. She observes, and you can turn the without uttering a single word during the entire game. If you pay attention all the way through, you will never look at yourself or her the same way. Once more, you deserve the truth. You deserve to take back your authority. Deserve to end their silent agony, and that begins immediately. My objective is to create, with this channel, males who are weary of pursuing and doubting themselves, weary of living in confusion. If you think that information can alter your life, if you wish to contribute to the dissemination of this, then, power to all men in need. Work, you ensure that the message reaches the recipients. When we work together, we can create a generation of invincible men who don't pursue, lead. Let's get started. The quiet battleground. The silent one. Battlefield. Each time she spends time by herself, an internal conflict starts with her thoughts. You might assume that she has forgotten about you. You might assume she doesn't give a damn anymore. But the pictures she uploads behind the laughing, you notice a secret. You will never see one side of a conflict. Draws her to you with the love of her heart. The burden of each memory she attempts to. She remembers how you made her buried. She remembers to chuckle without even trying. The late night discussions in which she felt appreciated, noticed, and understood in some ways. She never felt missed by many men. The assurance that someone is looking out for you. The way her heart beats beneath the surface would beat more quickly if you saw your name flash. How her world felt on her screen. Safer when you were experiencing that desire. Does not simply disappear. It persists as daily smoke following a fire. She briefly considers you when she looks through old pictures and reads them again. Previous chats, she's curious about where you are, with whom, and if you ever consider her as well, but from a different angle. Fear is what keeps her mind strong. That if she contacts you, you won't react as she hopes, and fears that if she displays even a slight indication of vulnerability, she will become less proud. Worry that you've moved on already. Discovered a superior person who had matured past her. That fear bonds her and freezes her fingers prior to typing a message. Her impulses are drowned before they can break through. It isn't apathy that keeps her quiet out of self-defense. Yet fear is not the only thing that paralyzes. Her pride creates a barrier between her sentiments and what she is prepared to display. She should wait, pride tells her. She believes that the first person to move loses. Her heart is poisoned by the game pride by stating he would genuinely miss you if he get in touch first. Her pride keeps her looking at her phone in the hopes of seeing your name, but declining to take the lead in breaks the quiet ego and comes across as weak. Then makes the blade sharper, but ego doesn't. Ego warns her in a whisper, you must be desired, not the one pleading. Ego persuades her that contacting would not only be dangerous, but embarrassing in her thoughts. Delivering a straightforward text turns into a conflict between wanting relationship and preserving her envisioned position. Each time she remains quiet she experiences pain and twisting for a moment. Anguish of victory because the quiet recalls her of the lost triumph since she hasn't let go of her pride. She is more tormented by duality than you are. Imagine the evening she nearly caves in. She comes close to sending that message, decides to be vulnerable, but ultimately, second, the desire is crushed by pride and fear. She locks her heart back inside of her. Up once more, and this is what counts. The more you remain silent, the weight on her side increases. Of the battleground when you fail to arrive, out when you refuse to compromise, when you don't pursue her since you're denying her comfort. She expects you to satisfy her secret craving. She expects you to collapse if you break first. Under the strain of uncertainty, when you don't, it destabilizes her and shocks her. The narrative she tells herself in order to feel secure. She will breathe a sigh if you reach out first. She wins without lifting, which is a comfort. She feels strong because of you. First displayed weakness, however, if you stick. Remaining quiet if you maintain your position with discipline. The earth underneath her starts to dispel uncertainty, anxiety increases, and the recollections of you rather than fading gets more painful and harsher. Silence becomes your biggest asset. Weapon, since it compels her to sit alongside. She attempted to get away from everything. Her to doubt herself and wonder whether her worst error was letting you leave. Thus, realize that her silence is not the indication that a woman is unconcerned. It indicates that a lady is too scared. 2. Losing the reputation she's trying to maintain. A woman who is too obstinate to acknowledge what she feels, as though a lady is caught between. You worry that you've outgrown her. Why her strategy is silence. 2 reasons why she uses quiet as a tactic. Doesn't mean she has forgotten about you. It isn't evidence that she has moved on. Silence is a determined tactic. An action, created to maintain her control over the power. When she becomes aware that you might miss her, the instant she senses your curiosity, she is aware that she has the upper hand, and in order to maintain that advantage, she doesn't have to speak, she just must remain silent, because silence breeds questions, silence breeds doubt, silence causes emotional instability within them. One who is more concerned is aware that if she reaches out first, she could lose authority over whether she transmits the message. If she displays her hand, running the danger of being the one who cares, the one who seems desperate more, and that is a position in her society. When she stays, she is unable to afford to take. Silently, she wagers on your feelings. Shattering hers, she wagers that your mind will trick you into starting worrying too much, that you'll begin wishing you would look through her old photos, verify her stories. For a clue, she wagers that ultimately the quiet will grow so loud in your heart that you'll take action to put an end to it, that you'll just reach out to be silent. The ambiguity, as soon as you break as soon as you send the smallest communication, even something as simple as, "Hey, I hope you're going well," you lose more than you understand. That eliminating the mystery kills it. The uncertainty out of her head, you respond to each. She was struggling with a silent query, showing her that you are emotionally attached to her, greatly impacted by the fact that you are still waiting, and when she understands, something alters the hold she was feeling. Slipping begins to tighten once more. She regains the control she was afraid she had lost. She is not even required to respond. She can gladly disregard your message. She has the ability to put you on red, give a remote, icy reaction. It doesn't issue, since the authority isn't in the respond, that the confirmation holds the power, that you are still concerned enough to get in touch. At first, you may believe that you are simply being You may tell yourself that you are courteous. Despite being mature, this emotional game, intentions are not affected by appearances. Only move matter, don't matter, and the act of reaching out shows your posture, it reveals your feelings. Susceptibility when she is concealed. She uses quiet as a tactic because it needs no work, she doesn't have to. She can call instead of texting. Needs no explanation, she just waits. Certain that most males are incapable of surviving emotional quiet, assured that the majority of men require more explanations than they actually need. Their dignity, certain that the majority of males will eventually make contact, even if it's only to experience things once more. Her quietness is its fear disguised as strength. Subscribe to this channel to show your support by like and commenting on your